Welcome back to another skin tutorial, or the continuation of the skin tutorial. We're going to start off in this particular episode fixing some things that I kind of messed up on before to make our layers a little bit cleaner, and to make sure that the artifacts and the traits that I want in certain layers are where they need to be, where they make sense. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, so here's where we left it off before. We've changed a bunch of things blue, and I've got my stripes layer, and the basically where you see yellow in this layer on the tail, the vertical stabilizer, and on the wings and everything. I want that. I've got a layer with that on it, blue, but I want it in the stripes layer. It just makes sense if I compile all of that there. So I'm gonna go ahead and select them all, just like I did to set up my blue layer before. And I know this seems a little bit redundant, but I want to do it just to make sure everything's clean. I'm also going to select one of the darker ones, and you'll notice I didn't select the chevron on the side, top and bottom. That is on the other layer I created, but I don't want that because I have my invasion stripes. So I'm going to basically do it on my stripes layer again so that I have it the way I want it. So there. Now we are going to get some of these stripes, like the smaller stripes, off of the base layer that we copied earlier in one of the previous episodes. We're going to get those, and we're going to actually move those over onto our other stripes layer. That way we can have everything that we need in the one spot where we need it, basically. I made that invisible and made it visible again so that I could see if something was included or not. So that's why you saw me do that. Okay, we're going to zoom in up here. Whoops. So Control Z is definitely your friend. So I just messed up and I clicked in the oh, I don't want that. Control Z again. I had clicked in a transparent area, and so I grabbed the entire transparency. We're missing some stripes there. I'm going to have to fix that. Okay, I do want those because I don't have the black bands around my colored areas. So we do want all of these. Sometimes it's a pain to go through and select everything, but as you can see, it doesn't take that long to do. Okay, we got those bands. We've got some things we need to fix, but anyway, I think we've got everything. We need to grab the edges of those. Now, when you switch between your various selection tools, make sure that in the tool options, you've got it set up to do exactly what you want. Okay, so now we can copy. See, they don't exist here right now. We're going to paste them. And there they are. Awesome. So then we can just anchor that layer. Now, looks like there's a little bit of a problem on the color bars there. On some of them, that's due to the feathering that occurs. So see right there, they're a little bit more full. We could also grab the stripe. We'll do this real quick. We'll grab the stripes off of the the base layer and put them there. Okay, let's zoom in here. Yep, there's a problem there. There's a few ways we can fix this. The way I'm going to do it is I'm just going to select an area with the freeform hand select tool, and then I'm going to select out that black part. So you can also subtract from a selection. There we go. Easy enough. Bam. We'll do the same thing on the other side. One thing you want to do, what I just did there is after I got done subtracting out the black, I changed my selection tool option back to what I wanted it to, because I have a habit of going to select something later on and it's still set up as subtract, so I click around a bunch and I don't have anything selected. It's somewhat annoying. Okay, so our stripes layer is pretty good, but you see our USAF is not as visible as what we'd want. So we're going to do some cool stuff here. We're going to select all of the lettering. So I changed my layer to the lettering layer, and then I just clicked the select all color tool, and now we're going to do a new layer. I'm going to drag it down underneath that layer, and we're going to duplicate it. So we've got two blank layers underneath, and we're going to make some drop shadow or basically some outlines for the lettering. Should make it look a lot sharper. And this is actually pretty easy to do. Okay, so oh yeah, we need to change that. We need to make it right. Okay. So now we'll pick the one right below, and we're going to go to select, grow, and we're just going to grow it by a number that seems good. You'll have to play around with this because it depends on your the size of your file that you're working on. We're just going to go over that. We're putting a white outline around all of the letters. Beautiful. Right? So now we're going to go back to select, and we're going to grow by the same amount. You can change the amount if you want, but I'm wanting these two outlines to be the same size, and we're going to put some black around the white. So that looks pretty sharp. That's about the way I wanted it to look. I'll call that a success. Control Shift A to unselect, and that's pretty cool. Okay. Got some little, kind of some stray marks in there, but it's not too bad. Okay, now I want to pop my logo in here. So somewhere in here I've had my logo open. I've got a few different logos, but there we go. Okay. Now there's a PNG file and there's an whatever it is, a GIMP file. So we're going to open the GIMP file. So you'll see there's a bunch of layers. The reason I did that is because I want just the griffin. I do not want all the other stuff for this part. So we're going to copy that, and we're going to paste it right there, and we'll just move it over and manipulate it a little bit to get it the way we want. Now I want him facing forward, so we'll flip him around, and obviously he's too big. So let's shrink him. We'll zoom in so we can see better. Now, careful shrinking things. You want to link them on something like this. Earlier we grew something without linking it. In this case, you definitely want the aspect ratio the same. you can typically not shrink or grow things too much if there's something complex like this. If it's a line, you can certainly grow it or shrink it however you want, but you start having to extrapolate pixels or combine pixels, and it gets really weird at times. So that looks pretty good. So we're going to copy and we're going to paste. Now we're going to flip it vertically because we want it on the other vertical stabilizer on the other side. Now we're going to pay attention to our X, and we're going to get it in the same X location, and then try to position it with the in the Y direction the best we can, based on features on the template. So rivets, I count rivets a lot, or I'll find a point on the thing that I'm moving and I'll put it on a rivet, a rivet, and that way it gets it pretty darn close. So that's usually what I do. Okay, let's anchor that down. Alright, now we're going to outline this as well. So we're going to put a logo shadow in there, make sure that goes back behind your logo. Alright. And we're going to do this the same way we did the lettering. We're just going to pick everything. We are going to grow our logo size. We're going to want it to be a little bit different size because this is a smaller thing than the lettering was. And there we go. That helps because there is some feathering going on around the logo that makes it look a little bit odd, especially if you shrink it. So the white outline can help with that. We're going to do it a little bit differently. I think that was a little bit too much, but looked kind of cool. It was close to what I'm looking for, but not quite. That looks better. A little bit more subtle, I guess. Awesome. So there we go. We're getting closer. We're getting closer to getting ready to test it. So we're going to go ahead and save this. And I want to save it as a unique file name. And then we'll take it from there in the next episode, okay? So stay tuned, and we'll get this thing put together pretty soon. We're getting close. Thanks, guys.